So Jackie, have you done waves with me? No.
No, I'm very
Okay.
nervous because
Oh gosh.
I haven't
No
even
worries.
done the wave videos. I haven't even done that.
That's okay. I know Jean's done waves, and I don't know if Emma has, and I'm pretty sure Robin hasn't. And actually, so waves kind of became my launching pad into pastels, to be quite honest. I took a workshop here in Portland from a very wonderful seascape pastelist. She's very well known. Her name is Jeannie Rosier Smith. Look her up. She's based out of Sudbury, Massachusetts, and she came out here to Portland, and I was so new, like literally just had my brand new little 3 sets of pastels, had no idea what I was doing, and took a 3-day workshop with her. She was so amazing. Her waves, I will send pictures, are absolutely amazing. But what I took away from her class was I actually apply what I learned from her in every subject that I paint with pastels. And that's why I think waves are really, they seem really hard, right? Because you're trying to capture something in movement, right? And it's just a snapshot. And water is hard too because it's reflecting. So you're seeing an actual piece of water come up and move. And so trying to paint that different change, it's as far as like color and value, and then the thickness, right? How it's real thick in the base of the wave, and then learning the structure of water and as it comes over and the thin part of it. So she really taught us about trying to picture your waves without any of this white or any of the foam. And you can see a little glimpse of the underneath of where the sand is in the picture. It's like a dark purpley mauve. And so when I first see a picture like a wave, I'm looking underneath these dark areas, because on top is reflecting the sky. So I'm looking at what color is this? What's this deep turquoise green? And then it's kind of coming into a lighter color. Well, that's pulling, right? It's pulling some of that water up. So you're thinking about that transition, and really, is it lighter right here, or is it the same value all the way? And it's just reflecting the sky, making it appear to be lighter. So there's a lot of elements in painting water, and especially waves. And so I'm going to show you some pictures of her paintings, because I absolutely, and she's just the nicest. If ever you can, if she's going to go back to doing any type of workshops, I highly recommend her. But yeah, she's, let's see here. So they're beautiful. And also something to think about that she talked about in doing waves is you have to think about being at the beach and looking at waves. And what does that mean? And let's see, I'm going to type in her name. I just sent it over. They're just beautiful.
That's a photograph, isn't it?
That's her painting.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's amazing.
She is amazing. Truly.
A pastel painting?
Those are all pastel. Oh,
wow.
Hi, Christine. Yeah. Is that not beautiful?
Wow.
I know. And honestly, you guys, I had no idea when I first took the class. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what type of artist she was in the pastel society, the pastel world. I mean, she just won another award. Here's another one. I mean, if you go visit her site, her website, but look at the use of color that she uses, from that shadow of the foam. That shadow of the last picture I sent you is purple to the white.
Oh, yeah.
And isn't that amazing? And then she also taught me in the class, see all those little white dots, like the seafoam spray? She taught me a technique that I'll show you today in class. And that's why the white pencil, pastel pencil, this is something, these are techniques that she taught in the class that I'm going to share with you guys. Waves are really, really important. They made me a better pastel painter working on them, because you're looking at the change, the motion, the shadows with the light. Something she talks about too is, especially in this picture, you see a little bit of this yellow and cream. Most of the time, very rarely do we paint anything white. That's something that it may appear to be white, like the foam, but it's actually a sunny, warm day. And in order to make it actually realistic, we're not going to do white. You can do a very pale yellow on a sunny day. If it was overcast, you would maybe use like a pale blue. And so I know that seems strange, but I'll show you. It's quite interesting. And if we move through this one fairly fast, I can show you another wave painting or send you another example. But go to her website. It's fascinating. She's an amazing pastelist. But yeah, it looks like a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It's fascinating. So she's really big on thumbnail sketches too, which I did not do one of this. I probably should have. I just thought this was kind of a cool, I liked the green part of the wave and then the distance, here in the back. So I just wanted to kind of practice to show you just how we're going to lay a darker green underneath. And the idea with waves is the more we get right on our underpainting, meaning the color and the value, we really don't have to lay a whole lot on top, like the foam. And also, I'll show you a trick that I learned using a fan brush. The fan brush I have is pretty stiff, so you can use, it doesn't have to be a fan brush. It's just nice because it's fanned out a little bit. But she also taught how to lay your pastel down fairly thick, like a foam, and then you can take away some of it, brush away some of that pastel to create those foam holes, which was really cool. So these are just some techniques that I'm going to show you in today. So just like a regular starting out with an underpainting, we're going to try to do hard pastels first, right? They don't eat up your paper as much. And then we'll move in with the soft pastels. There's some colors that I don't have in the hard pastels. So, and that's okay. So I'm just going to use some soft pastels, but generally hard are better. And then working to the soft. So the way I began picking out the palette, and this is what I want you to do. I want to start at the top, and we're going to be looking at this dark navy blue. So go ahead to your pile of pastels, and you're going to be looking for a dark blue. I'm thinking something like this. I have another hard pastel. It's a little lighter blue, but I'm going to go with a dark navy blue. So that's our first. So I want you to then set that aside. The next step, we're going to be looking at our wave. So we've got our dark blue. We're not thinking about any of the highlights yet. We'll circle back to that. We're just looking at everything underneath what's reflecting. So the next step is just looking at this wave without this water, just looking at this wave. And it's a pretty dark value. I mean, if you looked at it value-wise, I'd say it's probably a 5 on the strip. It's medium to dark value. And quite honestly, isn't shifting a whole lot to a lighter value. So we're going to be looking at something in the blue-green. It's in a little bit more of a cooler as it comes up and crests over. It's cooler, and then it appears to be a little bit warmer down here, right? Because we probably have a little bit of the sediment within the water. So it's going to be kind of shifting to a warmer green. So I'm looking for a dark blue-green in the cooler, shifting to a warmer. So look in your pile. And I'm going to take pictures of what I have here.
And this is the soft we're looking for, or the hard?
If you have hard, I don't have the color that I'm looking for value-wise. So I'm going to use soft for the wave portion. So I'll take a picture here. So it's going to be this one to the left, the blue with the arrow, and then I have a cooler green, blue-green, and then kind of warmy. It's got a little bit more yellow to it. So I'm going to be shifting from that dark green down to a little bit more of that brighter, warmer green. And these are soft pastels. I just don't have the hard. Let's see here. And then as the wave rolls out to the flat plane, because it's coming out at us, right? It's now flat on top of the sand. It's really reflecting the sky, and you can tell that it's a pretty sunny day. We can see by the yellow coming up on this small little wave right here. That's telling us that it's a warmer, sunny day. But in order to have the front piece of this wave appear to be warmer in front and this back to recede, we just want to keep in mind that it's going to be a little bit duller color here. And with that in mind, now we're thinking about what are we going to put underneath that's darker and duller. Okay, so we're at a shift as the wave is now coming down and we're heading to the land piece. And so I'm thinking darker, mauvey, and more of a maybe purple tint to it. So let's see here. I think I want darker than that. And I might have to combine a couple colors, and that's okay. I've got my pastels all spread out here. So I'm picking along with you. Looking for a darker. This might be okay. I'm just testing here. Okay, so that's warmer. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is this color here on the bottom. It's a darker on the purple side, working to the warmer side, because we know that this is going to get a little bit more warmth. What do we do with this strip here? We're going to look for this dark color here. It's more of the sand now getting pulled up into the water. So I'm going to look for maybe something like this value. So it's got a little green to it, which is okay, because I'm going to come back over it with some lighter cream color. This is challenging, you guys, because we're really trying to look at underneath, and this is, we're trying to think about what is underneath all of this reflective foam, and we're just getting little bits. It's just telling us a little bit here and there. So we're trying to piece it together. But I think we have a good start. And it's okay to be really bright at this moment. If you have really bright colors, this is the time to use them, if you would like. All right. So we've got our blue. And I'm just going to pull my pieces here. Then we're going to work down to there. I'm just laying out what I have. Okay. So I'm going to send over a picture for what I have for the underpainting. Starting at the top, the left is the blue and the wave to the base of the wave, that small little wave, and then the front foreground. So we've got 6 pastels that I'm going to use. As far as sketching, you can use a light pencil or a pastel pencil if you have it. It doesn't have to be super bright. Let's see what I've got here. I've got like this little blue-green, and it's super simple. We're just going to sketch it out on our pastel paper. Just getting these lines, and just keep in mind, measure with your fingers. Again, measure, the width. This is the same height as this is the same height, and then smaller. So proportions. It's very common. That was one thing I did with the sketching of the wave. I just made it way too big. So we're just gonna, I'm just gonna lightly the top of the wave here. And get this base line, and now we're coming at an angle. have a dip. That's about it. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Whoops. Get on my phone here. All right. So with waves, I usually just start from the top down, just like picking the pastels. And we're gonna, this is again is the underpainting. I'm gonna do an alcohol wash, which I recommend mostly with doing waves because the effect that you get with laying the pastel down, I like it better because with the dry brushing and rubbing, which is fine. I just like what the alcohol underpainting does. It's cleaner and crisper in my mind. So that's the plan after this. So I'm going to start with my dark blue, and I'm going in horizontal, and I'm just filling in, going in horizontal direction. And I want to fill it pretty good. Then I'm going to come in with my blue. I'm looking at my picture, thinking about the direction of the water. So I'm going to pull I'm going to leave this top. I don't want it too dark. It's actually right the thinnest when the water comes over. So I may pick out a lighter color in here now that I'm doing this. Got some. I'm going to shift. Pastel wants to skip and not lay flat. Okay. I'm thinking we need a blue, a bright blue or something. I've got this hard pastel, and it is like a royal blue, cobalt almost. I'm going to throw that in here. Okay. We're coming down, and it's fairly dark right in there. So I take my dark green and just throw that right in there. Now we're transitioning to the sand. Go a little bit over here. It kind of seems like a I'm going to mix some of these colors here. I know it looks strange, but that's about it. I feel like I'm going to take some of this off a little bit. I'm just taking some off. I don't want it too dark up here. Okay. Probably should fix this, huh? So you can see better. Okay. Well, yeah, everyone send over what they have. Good. Good, good. And so you may need more pastel, and that's okay. You can do another alcohol wash over the one that we've put down if you need to. No one says you can't. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in my alcohol in my container here. This is, let me see. Cool, Emma. Love it. Are you on black paper?
Yeah, I am. I ordered some and
Yeah.
it came black, which was a surprise. But...
Oh, actually, I like black. I have not done a wave on black, so this is going to be fun to see.
Yeah, I guess we'll try it out.
Yeah, might as well. Okay, so how are you doing, Christine? Robin?
I'm on.
Good, I'm coming along.
All right. All right. Let's see here. Just finding a brush. Not that I don't have a bazillion brushes, but it's always one that I need and I can't find. Okay. So it is a lot. The rules don't change with waves. I try to keep my alcohol as clean as possible, starting with the lightest colors and then moving to the dark colors. But in this case, we do have quite a bit of dark valued pastels. So I'm going to go ahead and just start at the top. And when you're painting and pushing the pastel into the paper and dissolving the pastel, make sure you're painting this in a horizontal fashion. And if you get too much and it's falling down, that's okay. You can just use your paper towel if you need to. Not a problem. But we want to paint in the direction of the subject. So that's a pretty blue.
Oh, weird.
What is it doing?
Oh, sorry. I don't have sanded paper today. I'm
Oh.
just using, how do you pronounce this? It's French. Canson me.
Oh, yes. The Canson.
Yeah, it's not quite doing what you're doing.
No, it's not. I don't think you can use alcohol on it. I'm not
Yeah, it's
sure.
okay. But even so, the tooth means I can't get into all of the white stuff.
Hmm.
I'll do this again at home.
Yeah.
My stuff. So
No worries. So now I'm just coming into the wave portion, thinking about the direction of the water, and so I want to paint in that direction. Like this piece is it's cresting, so I'm gonna pull the paint over like this, like the water is cresting.
I think your camera may have frozen on the
Oh,
close-up.
you're right. Is it working?
Nope.
No.
Hold on. Let's see. It definitely froze, didn't it? Let me try again. Is it coming up? Okay. Hopefully that you can see it.
Yeah, I think that's working now.
Thank you for telling me. Yeah, that was just decided to like stop mid section here. All right. So I'm just going to continue on. Thinking about the water here. I think that whoever took this picture had a special camera, how it like made everything smooth. It almost looks smooth, smoother than normal.
no, they use the long exposure.
Yeah. Yep. Good job. Yeah. just pulling down at an angle.
Yeah, this is gonna work.
Just pulling down. If you need to take some of the paint off, you can just wipe it and some will come off. So if you feel like you got too much, you can pull it off that way. Just coming in and adjusting. Okay. I think that's it here. Yeah. Good, Jeannie. I like the drips.
Thanks.
Of course, you know. So, oh, and one tip too. I also learned in the class, if you flip your picture upside down, so if you take your painting and your subject picture and you turn it upside down, Jeannie's picture made me think of that too, was when you're wanting to make sure that you have proportions right, or if your lines are facing the right way, like your foam lines or your wave. If you turn it upside down like this, one, it lets your brain just look at the object, not thinking that it's a wave. But this is why I have the white pastel pencil, And so what we want to do, oh, did it go? Is it on now? Okay. So if you have it upside down, this is a great opportunity to sketch, redefine your lines. Because when we do a underpainting, sometimes we lose sight of what we're, where we're gonna put our wave, our splash, where our foam. And so once it's dry, now I can come in with my white pastel pencil, and I'm just going to indicate where this foam line is. And it comes up here, and we've got some splash, and actually we've got quite a bit of splash coming way up here, so maybe this needs to come up more. It's a lot bigger than I thought, and so I made it too small. And so see how you can get back on track. And then we've got our wave. And we've got the start. And we've got the splash coming up into here. And round to here. Okay. And we've got a little bit here. I'm just following along. Just a light sketch. Making sure my wave kind of comes down like this. So maybe this needs to come down a little bit, the base of my wave. And you can really see the curvature of the water, right? And how this is just pretty, I mean, it's pretty straight across. I always find this fascinating. You think it's not. Now in design, if we wanted to really design our composition, because this is a great composition. We've got a line that's leading our eye here and then coming up into our wave and here. And so it's really engaging the viewer. We can open up, we can direct some of these foam pieces, direct it even more to this splash. And so just something to keep in mind. This is the time where you can really make a design. Okay. So that's just a trick. You don't have to do that, but sometimes I flip my stuff upside down for a while to really make sure my lines and my negative shapes and everything is looking proportional. My brain automatically wants to just think wave, and it should look this way. It should curl this way, and you're not painting what you're actually looking at. You're just painting what you know. Okay. So let me send this over. When you guys are done sketching out your wave, send it over. This is a pretty important part, especially when you are doing waves, because this is where you know, when you're doing the underpainting, you can lose. I realized that, oh, I need to maybe bring this down a little bit more. And I'm going to redraw my bounding box here. It's pretty important because see, I've missed some down below. Trying to make sure I'm Maybe not. Okay. I'm just going to make some marks here. Okay. So Emma, I'm surprised that it actually showed up on there as the way it did. I don't know why, I just thought it would be darker.
Yeah, it started to be pretty dark, so I had to use like a little bit less alcohol to make it less transparent.
Oh, okay. Okay. I could see that. Good, Jackie. Yeah. Great. Let's see. Nice, Robin. Okay. And let's see, Jean. Nice, Jean. Good. So do you guys have, so Robin, are you doing any alcohol or are you just doing dry?
I just rubbed it with my abrasive sponge
Okay.
because it's just easier for me right now to not get out paints.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure, like, if I'm looking at something to know what, which way you're doing. Okay, so good. We're ready to move on. So the next step after sketching it is now we're thinking about what is going on top, what kind of day it was, like we talked about. It's a sunny day. And so now we're going to think about the pastels going on top of these colors. So going back through, we're going to work from the top down. And so this is going to be more of a dull color, dull and cooler. We kind of want to push that back because this is our main attraction right here. So we have our base, and now I'm going to pick some pastels here. It's fairly purple. That's a little blue. So now I'm just testing out some blues to put on
So
there.
are you looking for cooler blues or
Yep.
neutrals?
Yep, cooler, duller blues. They're going to be more on the purple side. They're going to be a lighter value. And we may use a couple together to get what we want. This is pretty purple. So that's too purple. So I'm just testing, see what I have. That might work. And I'm just lightly. One thing about I learned about waves and making it a little bit more realistic is if you take your pastel and you think about it as doing like a crisscross. So you take your pastel and you run it like this, and it creates these like diamonds. And actually in nature, it does. The foam is moving in and then out. And same with the water. It's up and down, up and down. Well, we don't want to paint it like this. But what we do in order to make it realistic is we want to turn our pastel on the side very lightly, and we're going to just drag it down and then up and then down, back, and then up. And as you're dragging, you're creating a little bit of harder, so you're getting just a little bit more of this crisscross, but it's just very light, very light. So that's what we're trying to attempt in the back. So I'm going to show you. Whatever I did with that pastel, I do not know. We'll try this. Okay. So I'm just very light coming down and back, leaving a little bit of this dark showing through. And then I just lightly take my finger and go over it. Just light, just barely. And then I have a shade darker of blue, so I'll show you these two that I'm using.
So you did the lighter first and then dark.
Yep, and then I'm gonna come on with the dark. And you're not wrong either way. You can do both. You can do dark and then light. It's not gonna be a problem. I'm just gonna same technique. And I'll just leave it like that for now. Send over a picture. We just have to get that piece down, and then we'll start working, and then we can come back and adjust. Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to come back with work with that blue green that we used for the underpainting. We're just going to reinforce this dark area. I'm just coming along here. Very light. It's a little darker right in this section here. So I'm just thinking about this color right above it. It needs to just be a shade lighter. Maybe like this, and just lightly. This is a warmer green, so I'll show you these two right next to each other so you can see. So we're blending. We're using both of these to blend. I'm just lightly bringing it down. Just a little dark section in the back here. On that edge that's kind of poking out from the spray. And it's rolling to that blue. I'm going to bring that blue back in. Just lightly come over it. Using it as a blending tool too. And I'm just blending now these edges because it's this spray of color. So in order to put that white over it, we want to get this base color. That's what I'm doing. Following the line. And then we see some blue over in here. It goes solid white, and then we've got some blue coming right along here. Probably some light. It really gets light. So we'll add just some of that turquoise. So it's crusting over. It's a little light in here. This is something you will get as you paint waves, a little bit more of just knowing where these lights and darks kind of start to show up. Meaning like this transition here. So these are the blues that I've been using with the green. One great thing about these new pastels, they are such great little blending tools too. They're not dropping a ton of pigment, but they're allowing you to mix without disturbing the crystals, those really pretty crystals of pastels. So rather than the blending tool or even your finger, it dulls it as you push down. But with these new pastels, it allows you to blend so much better. So I feel like we need to go back in right in here and define this change of the wave. And this needs to be a lot darker right in here. Right underneath when this wave comes down, because it's creating that shadow. I'm trying to get all of this in before I lay those lights. So it's going to be pretty dark, right? So I'll show you. How's everyone doing? Hopefully I'm not moving too fast.
So it's like a dark green in the back, and then on top of that it's a light turquoise, and then on top of that it's more of like a royal blue.
Yep.
But all cooler, except for the turquoise green. Or no, that's cool too.
In the wave portion.
Yeah.
Right in here, the blue is cooler.
Okay.
Yeah. It's reflecting. So what we have is that the water is actually really thin right there. So we're actually capturing some of that reflection of the sky into the water there. And so it's just like when we were doing the mountain flowers or anything, we want to put that white in that portion of the wave in right away. So we're almost to that point. Almost to that point. Let's see. So Robin, for your back area,
Yeah.
I would go even like a more of a duller gray blue, just so it doesn't compete with your blue here. For saturation wise, it's about the same vibrancy almost.
Mm-hmm.
So look to see, and you can come back in with some of your darks to or maybe just kind of rub it out to where it's not competing with the front part of your wave.
Okay.
Yep. That's cool, Emma. I like the, I'm just really surprised the black paper is actually working. I don't know why, I just thought it wouldn't. Yeah. Good, Jackie. So now you're ready to even, if you have greener, if you have some more green, brighter green pastels, Jackie, you can use that on your wave.
I do, but they're not blue-green.
That's okay.
Okay.
You can use a regular green and just mix it with your blue.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Good job. Yeah, good, Jeannie. So for your same with you, you can start adding some brighter colors, and then we'll start in on that wave portion, and we just don't want your background, this portion, to compete with this.
Right.
Oh, Molly. Okay. So I'm going to take, I've got like a, this creamy new pastel. What I'm gonna, and I like it because I have like an edge on it. You can even use a pastel pencil. Stop. You're fine. Nope. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to go back where I had those marks with my pastel pencil, and I'm just, I'm going to come in here, and I'm just indicating where those splashes are coming up. A little bit more detailed. I need to break it into a smaller piece. Not doing white. I'm just coming down. No. I'm tapping to create these lines. And thinking about it's coming down. Very light touch. Again. Just getting the structure of the foam and the splashing, the movement of the water. It's coming up. Moving the pastel. And it's coming off the edge here. And now it's coming over. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to see I've got it thicker in these areas, and I'm pressing just a little bit harder, pressing down and then dragging, pressing down and then dragging out, turning my pastel to the side and lightly pulling. Letting it make those marks for us. And this is coming up. We know this is just thick, thick water. We know this wave is just coming over like fast and curling. I'm just lightly. Still letting the underneath show, pressing a little harder where it's more white. I'm going to soften that edge here. And soften a little bit back in here. So we've got breaking down the structure of it. Oops. So when you have that wave kind of positioned, send it over. We got to kind of bring this up a little bit. Yeah, much better, Robin. Good. Very good. So on where your dark blue and your green meet, take a hard pastel or your green pastel, and you're going to start blending those edges where your dark blue meets your green. Yeah, Jeannie. Now you can kind of see how it's popping forward, the waves popping forward. Yeah. That's really pretty. Good job. Waves are tricky. There's a lot going on. Okay. So next step, we're going to come down into the part where it's rolled out and it's definitely reflecting the sky a lot more. It's flatter. And so we're going to look at more of a dull, cooler. And so let's see what I've got pulled here. And it has kind of like a blue purpley tint to it. So I'm just going to see if I have something here. This is definitely purple. I'm just going to lay it in. It might work, it might not. We'll see. Still letting that underpainting shine through. No, that's too bright. I'll go back to cool that down a little bit. It's kind of blue, more blue over here. Just gonna take that blue. Pressing just a little harder. More in shadow with this front wave. Now we've got some shadow right in here. Our transition part. And I am just lightly pressing. Just like that. We'll come back. That purple. And it's transitioning to that blue. Almost going a little darker. Okay. So I may have to darken this a little bit. We'll get the front, but let me see where everyone's at. Nice, Emma. Good. So, and you can definitely take underneath your foam piece and you can put in some darker points to create more contrast between your white portion if you want. But yeah, good. Now, Jeannie, what you can do right here is if you have that hard pastel, take it on its edge and you can just kind of tap it like this and it will start to create these lines.
Mhm.
So you tap and then pull. And you can connect right where that blue, that light blue is, right over the top of that. Because that light blue is a really good base color. I like what you put in the back here.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that too. I like that.
I like that. It looks really pretty. So now you can go even like a lighter, muddier purple over this area
Mhm.
with what you have to connect these two. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Good, Robin. So down, I would say down in here, this portion, I would take a little bit more of that purple, that light purple that you have, and use it wide and just bring it a little bit more thicker, not just simple little strokes. I would now have it all connected. Does that make sense?
Yes, like
Okay.
almost like blending it with the.
Yep. Yep. Good. All right. I'm going to move into this bottom wave. I'm going to use that cream hard pastel, same that I did up here. I'm going to just get it on here. It doesn't need to be total perfect, just the movement. We could spend another 2 or 3 classes of how to blend and create these shadows within the water. And let me tell you, this is a quick intro to waves, but there's a lot. And I'm just carrying out this very, very light. This is all one. And see how I'm letting that underpainting show through. So it's going to be creamier and yellow and lighter. And then it's going to take more of the sky. So it's going to come down and it's going to be more of like a light purple. I'm going to carry that along. Very light touch. And it's going to move into that transition into the blue, where it's going to connect these. So we want to keep it all together as one. We don't want it to not use these colors together here and here. We just put blue and nothing here or nothing here. It becomes too segregated. And it doesn't flow well. And then we're almost going to a warm teal. I'm going to put some of this that's a little darker. Shining through. And now I'm just going to soften the edge. And then coming back with that our pastel. Trying to get it just to blend. And this is kind of like a dull tan. It should be a little darker. Nope. Nope. And just kind of, and this is coming up into this it's a little bit thicker. Trying it out. So I might use my fan brush. I can just tap away some of this. It creates these nice breaks. Just like that. I'm gonna lay a little more down into here. I'm just tapping away some of this pastel. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to leave that. Oh. So I think just so we don't run out of time, everyone can send in where they're at and I can look at it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Very nice. So Jeannie, I would almost take, I would take your light blue and get it a little bit more flat, horizontal, just where as it tapers out to the side. So see these lines here?
Right.
Just a little bit more, but that looks really good. I like that blue. Very nice. Yeah, and then now this is quieted down a little bit in the back. Good. Oh, cool, Emma. So I would definitely, for you, take in some of that brighter green that you have right here, and I would drag it down just a little bit, maybe a little bit over here, just to separate it from here. Or, oh, yeah, that's what, I like the front part that you did too. That looks good. Very nice. Waves are tricky. It's a lot of movement. And I'm tapping along this edge because I want it to be softened. I want it to be hard. Good, Jackie. So I would flip your picture upside down and make sure that you have everything. I think that these lines right in the center, I would probably need to kind of maybe come out a little bit more like this versus
Oh, yeah. I see.
down.
Yeah.
So flip your picture upside down. That will help you kind of see where you need to adjust your lines. But for the colors that you chose, it looks really good. Good job. So I have a really, it's almost white. It's like a really creamy yellow. And I'm going to put a little bit on it on the real heavy areas. I'll take a picture of it on the main wave. And then I will take the actual white pastel, and that's what I'm going to use to put to the splatter marks. I have an old toothbrush that I use. So if you have a toothbrush, that's awesome. If you don't, that's okay. But this is just a fun technique, so I'll show you in just a second. I'm gonna put a little bit more, I'm gonna be a little heavier handed right in here. Now I'm ready to say, okay, this is the wave. It's spraying. Got a lot more. And I'm just sticking it right into the wave and pressing pretty hard and then pulling up. Like that. Making that curl. It's kind of splitting right here. Okay. Coming down. Okay. Okay, next step is the toothbrush. So I'll do that real quick so I can show you, and then you guys can refine. So let's see what I have. I have this white pastel. It's fairly big, and it's great for doing the. I take the alcohol with the toothbrush, and that's what's going to create this foam spray. I'm going to set this box down here.
Now you're using white to do this?
Yep, I'm going to do the white. Get some clean alcohol. if you don't have alcohol, you can use Gamsol. You could even use water. It's not going to, I've never really tried water. I mean, you can, just, I don't know if it's going to load up like alcohol with alcohol, but when I say load up, I mean when you're getting the product, the pastel, turning it to paint. So it's going from the dry to the wet form. And so I'm loading it, I'm loading my brush. So I'm taking my brush and my pastel, and I'm going to dip my brush in my rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to be rubbing it just like I'm brushing a tooth, and I'm just gonna rub it, and this is called loading, and I'm just loading it, and you're gonna start seeing a little bit of it like flicking off the toothbrush. And so I take it and I take my toothbrush and I'm gonna flick it down. So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm just adding my spray. And it can be as thick as you want. It can be, some people get nervous, like they're gonna ruin their painting, and that's okay. Practice on something else if you feel nervous about it. Now you can see just off one, I'm getting quite a bit of spray.
What happens if you get a blob that's too big?
So then you can come back with your pastel, your hard pastel. So like if I had too much right here, I can just come back in and it's still wet and I can just tap it. Just like that. And then come over with my other pastel and fix it.
Is that too much?
Let me see. Not at all. No, and you can even get it up and hold it like right here and get it to create this direction, like just flicking it to where you can get that spray to go up. Like I didn't cover the bottom half of my wave, and so I've got some of that foam, which is fine, and I can just come back in and cover up some of it if I didn't want it on here. But I don't think you have too much. No, I think I'll send a picture of what I did. You can see. I just put it everywhere. You can even do a different color if you wanted.
Did we do that? We didn't do this at Christmas time, did we? We should have.
I don't know if we did. What did we do?
I don't remember.
Just, I don't either. Oh. Yep. And this is the time where we've been painting for a while. We're pretty up and close to our pictures, so it's good to go and take a break. So we're getting to that point. Because you definitely will need to step away and kind of look and see if there's adjustments that need to be made. All right, so let's see. Has everyone tried this, or were you able to try this? Go ahead and let me see. Everyone's so quiet today.
Concentrating.
I know. That's good. Okay. How's everyone doing with, yeah, send over your paintings. Nice, Robin. So now you can just blend. You've got it all, just soften some of the edges right here in the front. That looks really great. Yeah, looks really good. And definitely try out the toothbrush if you can.
Yeah, I will. Once I
It's
find a toothbrush.
I know it is fun, and a lot of people, they get nervous because you're like, oh, I don't know if this is really going to work. But it does. It does work. And it's fun. You can do it for, and now I haven't tried it for the, like a starry night. I haven't painted anything like that, but you could use that for your snow or all sorts of different things. Very nice, Emma. That's pretty. Good. You guys all have captured the crashing wave. Very nice. And then I always keep one of these little mats to kind of see where, because you lose your edges, right? And see what what you need to do next to change it, or if it looks okay. Good job, everyone. I think that's it. I like doing waves.
They're fun.
They are, and you know, you can make them as hard as you want or easy, and they're good practice. Good at really working through and dissecting your picture and having a good understanding of values. And this is a good subject to practice on. Reflections, all of it. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and send in if you have anything else you want me to look at. Good, Jackie. Yeah. Excellent. Good, Jeannie. That turned out great. It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the extra wave right in front.
Where?
I said I like the extra wave right in
Uh-huh.
front. Yeah, it looks good. Good job, everyone.
So we have
Well-
one more class with you before you desert
Yep.
us and leave us to starve.
I know.
No,
But-
I don't want you to feel bad. I just want you to know how much we'll miss.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. It does mean a lot. Yep. So one more class, the 27th. Meanwhile, keep practicing. And I haven't decided what we're going to do, but I guess you guys can always send me ideas or something that you're interested in learning. And then, of course, I'll be back. I'm sure to hopefully teach something new down the road. But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Enjoy your rest of your day and your week. And of course, I'm always available through WhatsApp if you have any questions.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Maureen.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you. That was great. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.